Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode and my return to podcasting after a little bit to the ValorCast. This is the PBE version's first episode. Well, first of this version of it. I usually only do one episode and then forget when I'm on. But anyway, it's good to be back in the PBE. I'm ValorX77. So today we have ourselves. Well, I need to explain why I'm back in the league, answer a couple questions, discuss some recent things, and you get to do some what I've been up to and some predictions. But let me get some stuff out of the way first. The first thing I need to let you guys know of is we're about a week away from the PBE draft. It's already occurred behind closed doors, and I have been involved in the graphics department of it. I did contribute a good amount to it, but I cannot say anything about what renders I did or which player went there because I do not want head office knocking at my door and taking money away because that's leaving a bad impression coming back. So my advice is learn how to keep this in. So if you're listening to this and you're in War Room or Draft Graphics, you already know what went down like I do. For someone who's in the draft, you're going to have to wait a little bit. Because the funny thing about being the guy in draft graphics is when it's your player's draft, you kind of get to know where you go like a week before everybody else does. That's kind of the fun thing. So you basically have like an extra set of eyes in the league's affairs. Anyway, let me explain what's been going on and why I initially left the PBE initially. So when we last left off, my previous player was Thunderbird Valor or Vidal Valor Jr. I gave her the nickname of Thunderbird because I felt that she was supposed to be a speedy player and an elite power bat at the same time, hence the nickname of Thunderbird. I haven't decided a nickname for Vidal the Third yet. It really depends on what happens with my build. Depends on which way management, whoever takes me, wants me to go towards, and other stuff like that. So then, so the initial reason why I left PBE is because I felt that the I felt that I was starting to get burned out in leagues. Obviously, the burnout is not there anymore. It's only now my occasional graphics burnout because when I came back around with Vidal Jr., I got hired by the streaming department, which I've been working with the graphics ever since. Although I have taken a few seasons off, either due to mental burnout or IRL stuff preventing me the chance to do graphics. So my schedule's eased up a bit. I still have a full-time job that I do Monday through Friday. So with that in mind, I won't. I will still be active full time. I just will be just speed running the task because I already got all the rookie stuff done as of right now. So essentially, I'm just on standby for waiting for the Lucky Charm task to get graded because apparently that has not been touched in almost 3 months, which is kind of ridiculous. So anyway, I'm gonna just show. Yeah, I'm just struggling to think of words because I'm recording this under a pretty heavy brain fog, and the word of it, and I just have some water here just to keep myself hydrated. So anyway, the PBE season just recently came to an end with Death Valley winning over Buffalo. Because the thing is, for a while before I left, Buffalo was on that onward slope from a laughing stock to a championship contender. And from what I heard, they won back-to-back championships, beating Death Valley, and then they lost this year to Death Valley, stopping a three-peat. I'm pretty sure this is like the closest we've gotten to a three-peat, because I don't think anybody's three-peated since either the days of the Scorpion Sloths or the S1 to S5, S2 to S5 Vancouver Vandals, when they essentially ruled the league for a long time, if you're old enough to remember that. Which I didn't first appear in the league until S13, and then I was there full time starting in S20. The joke about when I first started S20 compared to this one is that the off season was pretty long because they were in the middle of a sim change. They were going to 21. This year they're going to 26. So we're on the most recent OOTB sim. That's why we're a while, so everybody got to change their build slightly. Because we're coming into an open-minded season because we have no idea how this is going to affect all the players, how the meta is going to shift. Because apparently, from what I've seen people in the draft class, a lot of people are recreating as junk ball pitchers. I assume that's the new meta because for a while the circle change meta was the main thing, unless it got nerfed because they were tired of people creating as the same meta build. I much prefer leagues where they have unique builds that actually do well compared to the one standard meta build, because that kind of makes leagues more fun. Basically, giving your own ideas for a player and not being stick to a specific meta. I'm hoping OTP 26 helps clear this up. We're not sure, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's see here. So let's go into my media post that I did a couple days ago saying that I was back. So I go into here. It's a pretty short article. It took me like an hour or two to write because I was not mentally feeling good. The main reason I'm back, from what I heard, is there is a portal in development for PBE. It's probably not coming for another season or two, because once that comes in, it's going to cause a big meta shift in PBE. The one thing it lets you know is that it will take away a lot of people's jobs. Bankers, banker position's going to be reduced. The updater spot is going to be eliminated. That means anybody who is an updater, you are probably going to lose your opportunity to get your championship week pass, which essentially means you get to skip it and get the full TPE. And with this, it's essentially now that the system automatically updates, the bank system becomes automated as well. The automated bank system and the portal is something that other leagues like SHL, SSL, and the ISFL have recently gotten done. SHL was the first. The problem is with PBE, in my opinion, is that they usually are lagging behind the other leagues. They just feel like always second fiddle, always seem to get the stuff late, or get hit with constant delays. It happened with the J-Sync SIM swap, and it's happening again with the portal. So my advice to PBE, good on you for finally catching up, but good riddance. This is overdue. And likely turning a lot of newer, because I think with the new portal, it's going to attract a lot of people from like SHL and ISFL. So the question being, does PBE need to expand? I don't think so right now, because I'm aware SHL had a massive expansion pretty recently when they added 4 new teams, which that's pretty crazy because this stuff takes a while to do. So I don't think we're going to see what. The next reason I said I came back is because I just do a lot of draft graphics as well, and that fittingly, when I came back, I asked if they needed some help, and they said sure thing, and they welcomed me back in, and I already knocked out a couple of them. The good thing is I don't have my Photoshop open since I already got all the renders I needed to do done. And now that I can essentially just do graphics for PT or just use affiliate to go get around. The only hunch I have is something with SHO, which they do not pay the graphics people with Championship Week passes or something. It's only GMs and HO, which I kind of think is a bit unfair, but that would make the league too easy. PBE is probably the hardest league to max earn in because you need a lot of money each off season to ensure that you can pay off the equipment. I mean, it is the highest price in any sim league. It's higher than SSL. It's higher than SHL. It's higher than any other league I've seen. So you need to either be a media mogul or find a way to earn a lot of money via graphics in order to max earn enough that GMs will see this in you. But that's only a small value. Obviously, GMs are going to look into the user itself. So basically, they're not looking for positional need. They're basically on the character of the user. For example, do they think the user is going to be like a big cultural fit or something like that? But anyway, I'm just yapping for a good bit, so let's move on to the final part. I feel that Vidal Jr. could have had a lot more done. The big things that I was irked by, she did get a lot of awards, as in Silver Slugger and Gold Glove, but I felt that she did not win MVP. Her highest placement was third, because that was a year that myself and then Unconfident and CMAC also were in the top three, all in Nashville, by the way. I'm pretty sure that's the only time that in league history that a team had all three one burst through third come from the same team, and that was a pretty crazy year. And then they somehow didn't win the championship until after I was forced to leave due to cap issues. That's the only hunch I had. I kind of wish that Vidal was still in Nashville, because if she was still in Nashville, I think the World Series ring would have still happened and I would have gotten a ring. But I just felt that she probably should have stayed for Nashville for like most of her career. The thing is, I also want MVP, World Series ring, and Hall of Fame. I feel Vidal Jr. could still get into Hall of Fame, but it's not likely. And another thing that I want to try is being part of the War Room. I have War Room experience across SSL, SHL, and ISFL, mainly ISFL, because I've been in several War Rooms, and I'm a former GM from over there. Now, do I want to GM here? Probably not, because I just do not have the mental capacity to be a GM due to issues. So we'll see what happens. I'm not ready to move on to questions because we're only about 13 minutes into the podcast. Anyway, let's talk about the plans for Vidal the Third. So I started to create her as a first baseman. Pretty similar base build to Vidal Senior and Vidal Junior as a freak build. So, in my opinion, I'm gonna try to build her pretty similar to Vidal Junior. But I have said that I'm willing to be open to switching if possible. But I would prefer to stay in the infield. I could switch the pitcher if needed, but I would prefer to be an infield bat for my entire career to ensure my likelihood of Hall of Fame and get the best available player out of me. So, I need to take a look at the draft thing. So what I'm going to do now is open up the compendium and see what happens. So as you can see, take a look here for PBE. There are a lot of teams over the hard cap. So if you're over the hard cap, that's bad. That's possibly 4 teams risking losing their first. Death Valley, Indianapolis, OBX, Seattle, and Toronto. Mainly because of retiring players, so they can clear off any bloated salaries. But the main thing is I want to look at the draft picks. So for S58, my player with this. So Boise has their first. The Pathfinders have their first. Sloths have their first. Vancouver has their first. New York has their first. Buffalo has their first. OBX has their first. Providence has their first. Lunar Base has their first. Nashville has their first. Indy has their first. Detroit does not own their first. It's own. Detroit and Seattle first go to New Orleans. CBS has their first, and Cancun has their first. So New Orleans has multiple first-round picks. Based on what I see on the draft standings, I do think that I have no idea where I'm going to go. That's the thing. I have no idea where I'm going to go. I still need to research my draft destinations and then make the best determination on where I think is the best fit. Now, if you're wondering about former teams taking me, I said I am willing to go back, but I'm not going to force. Because I have a strong opinion about forcing. Forcing ruins parity. This has been a big problem in ISFL as of late, particularly with one team, the Arizona Outlaws, who everybody seemingly is forcing to these days. Because I pretty much have a dark saying that's for a while back when I started, when Orange County had their reign of terror. It's either you were on that team or you weren't winning anything. You just had to hope you got drafted into the right team and prayed that a good team would take you, because if a bad team took you who had a bad history of taking players, you were probably going to leave. That's the thing, since I'm not really sure who the organizations to avoid. I'll see what happens. So, if anyone here is to give me advice about what teams are good, which teams are bad, which ones I should probably avoid getting taken by. So, I'm just looking for advice because I'm familiar with the sim, but I'm just not familiar with the recent league stuff. Anyway, taking a look here, I'm a first baseman, so let's take a look at each team. Buffalo, they have a first player. Baseman is there. They have another one. They took Maple. They took Dogwood, so I don't think I'm ending up in Buffalo. Boise, what the hell is going on with them? They only have a few people under contract. Yeah, Boise's pretty bad. Cancun. A lot of good people in this organization that I've seen. So we'll see what happens, what their plan is going forward. Cancun has a lot of good people in that locker room. Detroit, I'm pretty familiar with them because I had a brief stint there. You know, guys like Five Surreal, who was with them, Joe, who Taco Punk. I've seen them, Zoot, All Star. DBS, let's see how they're looking like. Oh my god, that team's spoiled with a lot of good users. Person Man is an elite GM. Hummus is Hummus. Blue, who is one of my pet projects from ISFL. I really like the guy. Cow, Blow Pop. Nasu, I haven't seen him in a while. TG, who is another draft graphics person. Gold, Sheep, and Waldo. I've seen them. Apex. Good. Oop, I see here. Simmer. Chicken, I've seen. Josh, I've seen. T-Souls, I've known him from somewhere outside the leagues. I've known him from the Urinary Tree server. Low-key, I know. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I could see a league expansion happening soon. Learner base. I've seen BGK and what the Homer Crates is on this team? Man, he's everywhere. And Shoes here as well. I've recognized these guys. TLK. People, could you please not blow up my Discord DMs during the pod? I don't like that. Noah, who has a lot of firsts. Steelflex. Otter. Diglett. Sloth. Phil. Span. Nashville, I'm pretty familiar with the group. Taco, Time Consumer, Old Man, Mulder, Muford, Unconfident, and then, of course, the GMs in Zach and TJ, who I've been good friends with. The Voyagers. I see Steg, I see Reno, I see Eldorian as well. Because for a while, he was my NOLA GM for a long time. OBX, a lot of them here. Null, Sonic, Jiggly, Nex, Ryan. Providence. Toast Dude, Micro, Southworth. Irish is there as well. Sloths. Juosu has been pretty much the permanent GM for now. Juosu's my fellow running back in Black Forest, so good person. SLM. Also, minus points for Uptown Snore being there. I've been told by Jamar he's a bit of a troublemaker, but nah, not really. He's chill. I've known him in the Big Blue, Moose, Zerg, B-Fan. Pretty balanced teams, actually. Serpents, Titan Destroyer, She Does It, Zodiac, KC, the one's Pyro. I've recognized some of these. Toronto, who's there? Jay, Fresh, Kitakaze, Tim G. Diesel still in the league? How is he still in the league? Okay, and Zag. And then Vancouver. Ricer, Yester, I know him. Jabs is still in the league too. Attica's still in the league. So, a lot of good people are still in the league. It's just strange. I don't see people in the locker room that much. Alright. What should I do next? Let's jump to some questions because I feel I'm near halfway through the time. First question is from a fellow rookie in this class, a dynamic MLB. So he asked, "What is the most exciting thing you are looking forward to for this time around in the PBE?" In my opinion, I'm curious about what the new sim has in store because I felt that PBE has gotten a lot more interesting as of late. For the first time in a while, since a couple seasons back, PBE has become very interesting again. Parity has improved. Although you got the same matchup in the World Series 3 straight seasons in a row, so it's fine, I guess. Just let the same teams, just let them win until regression eats them alive. Because Buffalo, this is their peak now. That I'm aware regression's going to demolish them pretty soon. So they're heading towards a rebuild pretty soon. So good for them to get 2 rings. And I'm also the portal. Once that portal comes up, I wouldn't be surprised if the league would have to hit the expand the league button pretty soon. Because that's what happens with SHL. Because they had an influx, and they've been planning this for several seasons, and that's how we got Madison, Nashville, Cincinnati, and Denver existing in that league. So the portal system and the new sim are steps in the right direction for PBE because they've been rapidly modernizing. Also, because we had to deal with the developer as well. Next is from I've never seen you before. V from VRob X1 tacos, hard shell or soft shell, flour or corn tortillas. Huh. So I actually made something with Mama Val pretty recently that doesn't need a shell. It's like you throw potatoes, you throw taco meat on there, seasoning, tomatoes, and you got yourself a DIY taco in a pot that takes like only a few minutes to make, and it's so good. So I'm more of a soft shell person. I mean, I don't mind a hard shell because I get a hybrid of both, like the cheesy gordita crunch at Taco Bell, but that's not a real one. I'm more of a soft shell person because that's what I get at a real Mexican place. By the way, if you want real tacos, go to an effective Mexican place and not Taco Bell. Although Taco Bell is pretty cheap, I would still say go to an authentic Mexican place. Because if you don't do that, you're wrong, and you're personally going to get a death stare from me. Then part two of the question, flour corn tortillas. I'm more of a flour one compared to me, because corn ones kind of taste like, especially if you get too much sauce, it's going to taste runny, which I don't like anything that tastes runny. So probably flour tortillas. So the fact about, I'll explain something about me. I am a very sensitive eater. Like, I don't like certain stuff, but I don't like pork that much. I really don't, because it's super fatty and I don't like anything that's fat. I don't like fatty food. I don't eat noodles. Spaghetti I avoid like the plague. I mean, seafood though, I love that. Seafood, burgers, hot dogs. I don't like beans either. Beans, no. No. Fried veggies though, good. Love them. Fried rice, hell yeah too. It's weird because I'm a guy sitting in a bedroom somewhere in Maryland recording this podcast. All right, final questions, and it is from my old GM comeback, Zach. What are your player goals this time around, and what would you say would maybe be different about this player compared to previous ones? Um, as of right now, it's probably going to be the status quo for my infielder players. Ugh. Sorry if my voice sounds pretty crappy right now. Uh, Allergy season, and I also my current job is I serve school lunches to kids at a middle school nearby. So if I sound kind of sick, thank goodness I'm recording this during the weekend. So because I was planning on recording this like a couple days earlier, but I was just burned out from graphics. So I would say more so the status quo, but I may do something unprecedented with them. I said I'm willing to switch to pitcher if needed. Any position you need, I'm willing to switch. And that accounts to any GM if you have the balls to convince me of it to do. Come on. I want to see how creative you guys are. To see, like, how vivid can you plan out for my player? I'm just curious. I want to see the league in a different light. Anyway, let's continue. Thank you, Free, for the questions. Let's continue to. I'm gonna just go for the site and go through some recent media articles, my reaction to them, and let's see if I can catch up on recent stuff. So, the first big thing that I missed is a pretty controversial user got hit with the ban hammer, and that was KC Colby. Now, from my experiences with him, he's a bit hard nosed. So my get apparently he raged in someone else's DMs to the point that he got shown the door, and I feel like it was well overdue. I figured he was trying to get himself banned because he was rage baiting a lot. So yeah, uh, let's take a look at some media here. We have mine. Some charity articles. Ah, that's a new one. Red Onion. The funny joke is that the Swifties, this was created by Beaver. I'm not sure if he was still around, but this guy's a major Swiftie. It's the fan name for people who like Taylor Swift, and because she is engaged to a well-known NFL player from the Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce, multiple-time world champion. So the joke is they're called the Swift Kelsey Steeds. So it's a meme article, but I kind of don't like the brand because it's too complex. Speaking of him, he created the origin story of this guy. So this guy's actually been in the league for a while with his new player. Let me take a look. Let's see what players were you. Freds, to see what player you used to be. You were. Oh, it's Yeti. It's Yeti. Oh, it's Yeti Taz. I didn't recognize the name, but then I looked at the name. Oh, this guy's actually Yeti. I called you this name by accident. Whoops. Now, I've seen this guy in ISFL before he got burned out and just stayed at PBE. This guy is one of the nicest users I've seen. Okay. And then we get charity meme articles like this saying that potatoes overrated. Talk about Bazooka Joe. The worst Photoshop known to man. This is literally the most definition of a shit post in the article. That's the thing about charity. You gotta be careful who wins the thing because you have to write something meme worthy. Or things get so bad your head starts hurting. And then Space Rangers ultimately retiring a few numbers. So, yeah. If this media sounds a bit boring, I'm just going for a bunch of media. Then they actually went out of their way to do a full first team and the top 100 players in the league. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that looks pretty interesting. And I think that's all I'm going to do for this podcast. I know it's pretty short. I just don't have the mental capacity to do an hour unless I have somebody with me. So if you're interested in coming on to my podcast, I can schedule you a time and we can do like a mock or something. But it's got to be before the playoff week because that's when I'm needed to do draft graphics and that's when, yeah. So thank you guys for listening in. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And oh, by the way, before I wrap up, if you're wondering about how my talks, as in like minor league, not minors, before I get Kendrick Lamar for some reason. No, I don't like him young. Thank you very much. So I've spoken to Bruce City and Florida so far. The rest are probably going to follow shortly within the next week or so. So, anyway, I'd like to say thank you all for listening. Enjoy your rest of your day or night, whatever time zone you are, and take care.